Okay, let's get working on some stuff today. I am not having a good day, so it's going to be probably a little bit less of a probably a little bit less of an upbeat, fun, just working on some silly stuff sort of day. I'm just gonna try to get some stuff done. Honestly, I wasn't even. I'm not gonna keep going on it. I'm gonna focus on this stuff right now. Going to be looking at some balance and new mobs. I would like to extend what exists in terms of mobs to what was sort of brainstormed yesterday. I think these are strictly going to be the mobs that are implemented. We're going to, at the very least, create the mobs as a... we're going to, at the very least, we're going to create the mobs so that they exist in configuration form. We'll possibly go take a look at them. I know that this is just making more sprites that need to be made, but I would like to sort of fill out the beach area as well. So I should probably swap this back over to my Hatchet project. So goal for today, going to be expand the beach a little bit. We're going to add some mangroves. I would like to create the mobs for the beach. I would like to create mobs to place in the deep forest as well. I would like to get the additional nodes and stuff added as the options on the map editor. So we will first take a look at a couple of different things. One thing that we're going to do. Actually, let's add these to notes, and then we can create another sort of thing. Actually, there we go. I remembered what the first thing was. Verify that the sound effects are only played for what is on screen or slightly off screen, sort of like what is rendered for out of bounds objects or out of bounds decor. This is in attempt to ensure we are supporting the multiplayer aspect and not repeating audio sounds or globally playing sounds that are spawned by other individuals. So we're gonna get this. Gonna have to log in again. But yeah, we're gonna get this fixed. And holy verifications. Woo, two-step authentication. Sometimes this makes this a real pain. Yes, the thing that I've been logged into for ages is, okay, there we go. We'll set this off on there. Now I'm gonna focus on updating these notes and things that we need to do. So boss portal needs to be placed behind the quests, specifically the chase orc step. The portal should spawn once the orc is made to the end of the chase location. And it spawns. The boss arena should not or must not show up on the map when player presses M either. It does not need to have a page added. So I we were looking a little bit at the mobs yesterday as well. I did a little bit of brainstorming on, or a little bit of additional changes to the mobs that I want to get added as well. Specifically to the beach, I added in addition the Kelpie and the Kappa. I think the Kappa is going to be a boss for the ports quest line, or quests around the ports. And Kelpie, I don't know if they'll strictly be added to the beach. We might add low-level Kelpies to the beach as sort of rarer water mobs. Rarer or lower 2 versions, 1 lower level for beach, 1 high level for mountains. I think that's what we might do. I kind of want to add some Kelpies because I think those are really cool as well. Beach needs to be extended with mangroves. Map needs to be rotated 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. Oh, I think we'll get that done today, and that's gonna. I'm gonna be real happy about that. That's also gonna give some wild effects because it's gonna make me completely. It's gonna be like seeing the map again, brand new. Add additional zone on the opposite side. Add 2 subzones in the opposite direction of the transition to cliffside. Okay, and so this will allow us to extend that. So the couple of bugs that we need to do, we need to make sure the boss needs a health bar. The health bar always show remaining HP as green, no orange, red. It's either green, percent filled, or empty. The boss portal needs to be put behind the quest line, or the tutorial quest line. I'm thinking I might hide pretty much all the bosses behind quest lines. I feel like that makes them more boss-like. I don't know. I like it. So the portal should spawn once the orc is made. The boss arena does not, or boss portal doesn't. Boss portal plus billboard needs to be placed behind the quest. Then the mobs that we're adding to the forest is going to be the skunk ape, the jackalope, bears, and the sugnoki. These are mostly going to be in the deep forest. Jackalope might be in the regular forest as well a bit. Then on the beach, we're going to add crabs, monitor lizards, Komodo dragons. Komodo dragons will probably... Komodo dragons are kind of higher level. We might not put those ones on the map. Quest line to be determined. But all of the bosses above need to be defined as the configuration files and added to the map editor. Kappa not added to map editor since a boss. Anyways, we're not going to do that. So we are going to get all of these mobs created as well. We should probably figure out additional objects and stuff that we can actually put on the beach to make it feel more lively as a zone. New nodes that need to be added. Okay, so new node types that we need to add. One mangrove tree, approximately level 30 wood. Actually, approximately level 15 wood cutting. Let's do that. Other things that would be found at the beach, probably some rock types. So we'll probably do some iron. We'll probably do some. Well, we'll definitely do some fish, but we don't need to add new types of fish. We'll probably have some higher level fish. New out of bounds decor needed to be added. Beach decor needed. I should probably make these bullet points as well. Anyways, we need to do some new beach decor. We need to do some cliffs decor. Vertical rock faces. Vertical rocks. Roots and yeah. Beach decor is needed. Sand mounds. Tall grass. Yep, I figured that was going to be the case. Amazing the things that come to mind when you're just thinking about them. Sand mounds, tall grasses, shrubbery trees, or shrubberies. Shrubbery! Bring us a shrubbery! Cliffs decor, vertical rocks, roots. Dude. Water decor. Sharp rocks. Sharp rocks, whirlpool, sharp rocks, whirlpools, and coral. Well, no. And reeds, I guess. No, I don't really want to add reeds. Those would be better as new nodes. Reeds, herbalism. .20-ish herb. Around level 20 herb. So water decor, sharp rocks, whirlpools, and I think that's gonna be about it. Large, medium, verification. Okay. So what else do we need to get implemented in here? Because the initial playtest is just gonna be the beach and the forest slash deep. I don't even think there's really going to be the deep forest, but I think we're going to do the beach, make the beach available, make the forest available. Maybe just the forest, but I kind of want to work on the beach as well. Target, commit, audio global prevention, plus. I have written a series of notes which either fix bugs or add content that needs to be added now. Read over my notes and write up a new subphase. Be sure to extend the implementation plan to cover these topics as well. We're going to try to get these in now. Because yeah, we definitely need beach out of bounds decor because it's gonna be it's gonna be weird if the beach was just wide open. We still need to add out of bounds stuff to the beach just for playability's sake. It's going to be kind of weird for the beach shape, but it would be bizarre if it wasn't the case, just from a gameplay standpoint. Oh, people are dumb. Oh, people are dumb. I don't know why I interact with certain people. People are so entitled and so dumb. It's not fun. But I'm streaming. I need to not focus on that shit. I need to not focus on that shit. Much as I would love to go on a rant. Oh. Don't rant. You know, maybe ranting would be a good idea. Maybe I should go on a rant about it. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. Oh, it's not like anyone's here to actually see me rant about it. No one's here to see me rant about it. Why shouldn't I rant about it? I could rant about the very specific topic. I could rant about the very specific use cases. You know what? Fine. I'm gonna rant about it. So I'm in a discussion right now about the use case between basically there was a person who highlighted, it's like, hey, using AI to make thumbnails. It's like, hey, don't you just use AI to make your thumbnails, then edit it in Photoshop afterwards to make it look better so that it's actually more appealing and you get more clicks. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why wouldn't you want to use the tools that are available to you? You save a bunch of time from using AI with it. And then you use the tools that are available to you to make it look better, because the AI is not going to give you a perfect result on the output. You get something that's most of the way, and then you touch it up and you make it look good, and you're like, hey, I'm happy with this now, and I saved myself a whole bunch of time. I can use that time to make my video better now, and then I'm going to use the thumbnail for the video. So I get a better video, I get a good thumbnail, and I get to save time on the part of it that I was doing this for. Anyways, my point being that, yeah, you should use it because or not that you should, but if you want to use it because it's going to save you time and you think you like the outputs that you get from it, then why wouldn't you use it? There's no reason not to at that point. The responses were, well, people aren't going to watch it because they see an AI thumbnail. Well, no, not everyone cares about it. One, there are people that are going to click on it because they also like it. There are people that are going to click on it because they saw the title of the video and they went, hey, that's a title. I want to see this thing. I want to either know about the topic, or this sounds interesting, or I've seen your other videos and I like the content and I want to see it. And so the argument that was brought up is, hey, people who don't like AI aren't going to watch your video because, well, you used AI to make your thumbnail. It's like, okay, well, fine, don't watch it. Why? If someone they actively want to use it because they like the output from it and they think that they get good quality out of it, that means they don't have a problem with the technology for it. And that they are, again, this is an assumption on this part, it is an assumption that they like the technology because they're getting a benefit out of it. If they like it and they're getting a benefit out of it and they're willing to use it towards something that they like, why would they change that for someone who dislikes it? You would want to filter out the people who are going to complain about what you want to do to build the thing you want to build. If you like something and someone else does not like that thing, you do not have an obligation or a requirement or an expectation to not use or talk about the thing that you like to appease the other one. If you're filtering them out, that's good because you probably did not want them in your community to interact with your stuff or whatever. Sure, if you're just hyper optimizing for specific views or you're trying to just make things get seen by more people, yeah, maybe you take that into account if you think that the target audience is not, there's not enough of an overlap, or you're just trying to spread as big of a net as possible. But if you're to the point where you've decided that you're going to use a specific technology for getting a specific output in a process that you're using, you probably don't want people's comments on it that don't approve of that thing. You want people around that approve of you doing that thing. I don't understand. Then the additional argument is, oh, you're going to get less views. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You're trying to build a specific thing. You're not going to appeal to everyone. You cannot appeal to everyone for it. And if you like one thing, there's no reason to handicap yourself and kneecap yourself out of doing that one thing. Anyways, that's my rant on the topic of AI thumbnails, because it infuriates me when people are like, oh, you have to appeal to me and you have to listen to my thing on what you can and can't use for this thing. Like, no, fuck you. It wasn't meant for you in the first place then, if that's the case. And a world expansion. Like, for example, this game that I'm building, I am very, very heavily using AI. 1, for the coding, 2, to help me write up a whole bunch of stuff because it will just spit out a whole bunch of stuff and then I get to further edit it down. 3, I'm using it for the placeholder stuff. 4, I'm pretty sure half of this music that I'm listening to right now on stream is built by AI. I like these outputs that I'm getting. They work for my situation, and if someone doesn't like AI for this, well, then don't watch it. Don't interact with the stuff. I'm not doing this for the other people. I'm doing this because I want this game. This is something I want to build. These are the tools that are available for me to build this. I'm going to save 8 years by building with this, so I'm going to use it. You don't like it? Don't want you here. Don't care. I could keep ranting on this, but I do need to read this world expansion and bug fixes. Well, it should say bug fixes. Anyways, world map page, blah, blah, blah. Overview, N8 is a content and correctness pass that follows N7. It doesn't really follow N7, but that's irrelevant. This should be pretty much agnostic to that. It's an additional thing. It's whatever. HUD fixes bosses have no health bars at all. Regular HP bars use a color ramp that should be a single fill. It's like, hey, I got that thing. I didn't like it, so I changed it. Boss arena gating. The arena portal and its notice board are always present and always visible on the world map, so the Quest 3 reveal has no impact. New content, 10 new mobs across forest and beach, 1 new boss, 2 new gatherable nodes, and 3 new out-of-bounds decor sets. World expansion, 2 new beach subzones, point and mangrove, extending away from the cliff. World rotation, the whole map rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. That's going to be a really, really big thing. I'm not going to commit this yet because it'll get rid of my changes on the implementation plan. The backlog defects, 2 backlog defects were found while scoping this work and are documented here because the content work depends on them. 2 position unit mismatch, 15 of 16 hard transitions currently warp players outside the destination zone. Any new dungeon or subzone authored in the editor inherits the bug. See blocking defects. Mob sprite rows are hard-coded in Go. Every new mob silently renders as a goblin until a Go switch is edited. Nodes and decor are already schema-driven. Mobs are the outlier. See new mobs. Cool. Blocking. Okay, we've got blocking defects and new mobs in this document. That's fine. Again, we're going to go through, we're going to make notes, we're going to make some edits, we're going to make sure that we're actually happy with what's outlined here, because that's the point. The point is to have the person giving the approval, the check off, the yeah, I like this, the no, this doesn't follow what I was talking about, the yeah, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to try not to relapse into this. I'm going to try not to relapse into this argument and complaint and rant the entire time, because if I don't get through this document, I'm going to be upset with myself for that. Anyways, the boss health bar. Bosses must display a health bar. Why the render 1 mob gates. The H bar is not is boss. And there is no boss UI panel to compensate. The N7 note that boss HP bars are already handled by the boss UI panel was incorrect. Bosses are currently the only entity in the game whose health cannot be read at all. Behavior, a boss bar is wider and taller than the standard mob bar. Sure, we could even anchor it along the top side of the screen. It might even say that. And anchored above the boss sprite rather than at a standard offset. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine as well. That works too. Actually, that's probably preferable in this case, unless I want to add the boss UI and stick the boss health bar at the top of the screen. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not yet. I kind of want to get stuff in and figure out what everything looks like first, and then we can readdress the UI. It still shows the same green fill treatment as any other bar. Optionally accompanied by a boss name. Phase and rage state is out of scope here and belongs in the N3 boss ability rework. One question whether the boss bar is drawn over the boss in-world consistent with mobs or as a fixed screen top panel. Conventional for raid bosses. Again, that's what I was just talking about. We're probably not going to do that at the moment. This will probably be the best place to start. Recommended in-world for now, no UI surface, and it stays correct with when multiple bosses exist. HP bar fill counter, or fill color. Oh, this is making it green instead of green, yellow, orange, red. Health bars show remaining HP as green at all fill levels. Remove the yellow and red states. Why the color ramp encodes information already conveyed by the bar length, and the red state reads as a status warning rather than a quantity. It's just made up the reasoning. It's not wrong in the reasoning, but that's not what was behind the decision. Current render 1 mob switches green. Anyways, I don't care about the current. The target is just a single green HP bar, proportional width over the existing dark background. An empty bar is background only. Applies to mob bars, new boss bar, and other player HP bars. The player's own HUD HP is the separate element and is not part of this change. Boss arena gating. The portal and notice board behind the quest. What the boss arena portal and the boss billboard. Notice board must appear only once the player reaches the chase orc step. Reaches the end of the chase orc step of Town Defense Quest 3, and despawns once the player has passed the arena. well, not once the player has, but once the boss or the mob has. Why both are unconditional today. The Zone Force North to boss or Zone Boss Arena hard transition carries a no quest requirement, and Data NPC Boss Billboard carries no quest visibility. A brand new player can walk into the arena, fight the boss before meeting the quest giver, which defeats the quest line pacing and the arena's role as Quest 3 climax. Behavior: the portal spawns when the Orc commander completes its chase and arrives at the arena entrance, i.e. gated on the chase Orc step becoming active, matching the region already defined for that step. The portal and board despawn once the player is past the arena. No. The natural upper bound is the enter arena step completing. No. Notes to add portal and board never despawn after the quest is completed. The reaching this step on the quest is the prerequisite to unlock this boss fight. It is not a temporary thing, rather it becomes a permanent feature. There we go. Implementation notes: the board is an NPC, so it takes a quest visibility block directly. Data NPCs or commander is the reference shape. No. The portal is a zone transition which supports the quest requirement. A lower bound only quest gate transition allowed. Calls reached. Gating the appearance is covered. Gating the disappearance is not expressible in the quest requirements, which has no until fields. Yes, it does. Actually, it might not for objects, but it definitely does for mobs. Decision needed: either A, extend transition to accept full quest visibility range instead of the lower bound only requirement, or B, accept that the portal remains passable after the quest is the smaller surprise. The gate helpers. Anyways, I'm gonna move this note down below this, I guess, because it applies to the whole part. Anyways, I don't care about the rest of what it says there because it's just wrong. Arena excluded from the world map. What the zone boss arena must not render on the M key and gets no dungeon page of its own. Why it is currently drawn in the overworld, it falls through, which both spoils the Quest 3 destination and misrepresents the arena as a normal overworld location. It's not a normal overworld location, but it is a normal location. You just have to do a quest to unlock it. Implementation: N7 specified a world map boolean in the zone config for exactly this case. It was never implemented, and it add it and have render world map, skip zones where it is false, set it false for the zone boss arena. Instance zones created by the quest arena path inherit the template's flag. Quick question, which model are we on? Model Fable. Go away, I want to... Oh, model, Fable, / model. There we go, we're on Fable. Oh hey, you can just do best, that's kind of cool. What were we doing? World map, instance zone created by the quest arena path inherits the template flag and therefore excluded for free. New mobs, 10 new mobs plus 1 boss. Names below are the in-game display names. The notes specify forest and deep forest. Mob display name notes Scape, Skunk Cave Forest, and Deep Forest. Specifically Deep Forest. Jackalope Forest. Deep Forest. Bear Forest and Deep Forest, high tier for the biome. Forest, mid tier for Deep Forest, and the Sukinoki in the Deep Forest. I was debating whether I want the Tsukinoki to show up in the deep forest or not, or in the regular forest as well, but it doesn't matter. Then the beach, crab, beach. Man, how many times am I gonna say beach? So we've got the crab, beach, low tier, mangrove monitor, venomous, komodo, venomous, higher tier than mangrove monitor, alligator, beach, and the new mangrove subzone, kelpie, beach tier, water mob, kelpie mountain, kelpie beach and kelpie mountain. Kelpie mountain, mountain tier variant placed in the mountain river. Notes to add both kelpie beach. Kelpie should be differentiated by level, not by actually both kelpie beach and kelpie mountain will still say just kelpie when inspected. Then the boss is the Kappa. Boss terminal encounter to be determined massive port quest line, not added to the map editor spawn list. Bosses are placed by their own config path, not by the spawn tool. Levels, HP, damage, XP are deliberately unspecified here. They belong to the N3 balancing pass. Author the configs with plausible starting values and tune them there. Venom, the two monitors are venomous. There is no poison status effect today. The closest existing mechanism example is the bleed, chain buff type, a dot, expressed as a fraction of base damage per tick with duration. Documented in the shared type, either reuse bleed for venom or add a poison type alongside it. Note that the resolver silently ignores unrecognized types, so a poison type can be authored in the config and the resolver handles it. The sprint that adds the type must also add the resolution, or the venom will simply do nothing. So yeah, I think we're gonna add a new type. Notes to add. Venom needs to apply a new ailment. Poison is a long-lasting, low-damage effect. It does not stack. Or actually, I think what we're gonna do is this. Poison applies stacks 1 to 100. Poison is applied on every hit that has poison, and adds stacks to an invisible counter. 1 to let's do 1,000. 1 to 1,000. When the stacks of poison reach 1,000, they activate poisoned. Stacks decay slowly. This is what determines the long-lasting time of poisoned. So stacks decay slowly. This is what determines the long-lasting effect of poisoned. New poison stacks. While poisoned increase the invisible counter. Still. There we go. I think that'll work as a pretty good definition of poisoned. Config and editor registration. Each mob needs a data mobs ID.json following the existing schema, and a data loot ID loot table referenced by its loot table field. Editor registration is automatic. Builds its spawn tool. What am I reading? Config and editor registration. Each mob needs a data mobs ID following the existing schema, and a data loot ID loot table referenced by its loot table field. Editor registration is automatic. Builds its spawn tool type list by scanning the data mobs JSON, so the new config files appear in the editor with no code change. Sprite registration is not. I don't believe this. This needs to be inspected because I don't believe this based on my use cases or my usage of the tool. Sprite registration is not render lookup. Mob row is a hard-coded Go switch mapping mob types atlas row defaulting to row 0, so every new mob renders as a goblin until the switch is edited. This is inconsistent with the node and decor, which are ID keyed through the schema files and resolved via frame ID. Recommendation: add data sprite mobs with the same row schema shape and resolve mob types by ID, deleting the switch. 10 new mobs is precisely the point where the hard-coded list stops being tenable, and it removes a silent failure mode. A missing entry renders the wrong mob rather than erroring. The same applies to render lookup NPC row. This is the same config driven, so the new types can be added without code changes. Principle the N7 building. This is the same principle the N7 building tile pass adopted. Anyways, notes to add. Verify the editor registration is automatic for all types of nodes and mobs. I don't think this is the case for mobs, especially. New nodes, node skill required level and notes. Wood mangrove, wood cutting place in the new mangrove subzone and along the beach. Herb reeds, herbalism around level 20. Wetland, herb, mangrove, and shoreline. Implementation notes. Node configs follow wood pine. Each needs a gather item ID and matching item config. Both nodes need a row in data sprite nodes ID keyed, so no code changes. N1 established that herbs and ore nodes support 1x1, 2x2, 1x2, and 2x1 size variants as separate config entries. Yeah, but let's be real, they're just going to be the 1x2. They're just going to be 2 tall, 1 wide. Maybe that's 2x1. No, I think that's 1x2. Yeah, 1x2. It's XY. Entries: see the herb buttercup family. Decide whether herb reeds ships with size variants. Reeds are naturally fit for a clustered placement. Size variants are individually placeable in the editor and are picked up automatically from data nodes. Notes to add. Herb reeds are meant to be non-blocking both when live and depleted. Reeds will be 1 wide, 2 tall, regardless, but should still support the existing 1x1, 1x1, 2x2. New out-of-bounds decor types. These new decor sets for biome that currently fall back to the default decor set types: beach, cliffs, and water. So beach, sand mounds, tall grass, shrubbery, cliffs, vertical rocks, roots, water, sharp rocks, large, sharp rocks, medium, and whirlpools. Implementation notes: each type is a file in data decor types. See decor rock large. Dimensions, footprints, anchors, plus a row in data sprites decor. Each set is a tile set file in data decor. Name, seed density, type list, per type weights. Tile sets are auto-discovered by the editor's out-of-bounds region tool from the data decor JSONs. No code change to make them selectable. Whirlpools are only animated candidate in the list. The decor atlas schema carries frame count, but the out-of-bounds decor draw path uses frame 0 only. If whirlpools should animate, that draw path needs an animation pass. Otherwise, author them as a static frame placement. These sets are assigned to regions where the editor's out-of-bounds tile set region tool. The beach and water sets are separate prerequisites for the mangrove subzone below. Notes add. Whirlpools will be animated. Implementation animation for decor must be added. Beach expansion, point and mangroves. 2 new subzones extending the beach group, positioned opposite the cliffs transition. Why the beach group currently dead ends into the cliffs. These subzones give the beach its own destination and are home for the new mangrove reed nodes and the alligator and monitor mobs. I mean, not entirely, but I mean, I just want the beach to be a bit larger. The beach is a low-level zone. We gotta be kind on the low-level zones. Current beach zone layout. Zone beach shore, zone beach mid, beach cove, and beach lagoon. Beach mid, town, shore, cove. I mean, these names are kind of irrelevant to it. The cliffs transition run south-southeast out of the cove lagoon to the new subzones extended northwest off the shore and lagoon. Behavior point, the headland, open sand and rocks, and shallower of the 2. Mangroves, wetland, the mangrove trees and reed nodes, alligators and monitors. Implementation notes, both are siblings within the group beach, sibling true on their transitions. So crossing preserve entity state and use the segment change path rather than the full zone transfer. Exact bounds are authored in the editor, not specified here. Zone bounds within the group must tile disjointly. The containment-based crossing logic derived the player's zone from which bounds contain them. So overlapping or gapped bounds break crossings. The water decor set is the intended out-of-bounds treatment for the seaward edge of both zones. That sounds fine to me, but oh boy, is it just using a lot of very large words here. They're all technically correct and accurate estimations of what is being done here. However, I prefer to be able to read things a bit faster, and devolving to this speed of speech makes me stumble a little bit more. Ugh. Annoying. World rotation 90-degree counterclockwise. Rotate the entire authored world 90 degrees counterclockwise. Before any implementation, resolve this. If the goal is purely how the world reads on screen, the camera already has a rotation, camera angle, and rotate with cached sign, and changes its default is only one line with no data migration. Rotating the data is only necessary if the goal is the world's layout as authored in the editor and on the world map. The world map is specifically the reason why we are doing this. I want the mountains to be at the top of the map. These differ by roughly 2 orders of magnitude in effort and risk. The rest of this section assumes data rotation is genuinely wanted. Oops, add. Data rotation is wanted to be able to place the mountains at the top of the world map. Transform counterclockwise by 90 degrees, maps xy to y negative x. For rectangles, transform both corners and recompute min-max. A native per corner assignment produces inverted rects. Every coordinate bearing field must be migrated. Yes, that's correct. Beyond the zone files, player saves unmigrated saves, put every existing character in a rotated away position. That would be very funny, but I would prefer that not happen. Inside geometry and out of bounds or in the wrong zone, migrate them in the same pass and accept a wipe. Or accept a wipe. Let's add migrate player positions in the same pass. Quest step regions, visit location steps, carry their own region recs in data quest JSON. These are outside the zone files and are easy to miss. Add checks to migrate the quest locations, boundary locations, etc. The world map link anchors are hard-coded tile coordinates for dungeon. No one heard that. For the dungeon entrance markers and must be rotated to match. Data editor pins, if kept, approach, write a one-shot migration under the command that reads every affected file, applies the transform, and writes back. Not hand edit. It should be idempotent, checkable, run twice, compare. Write a one-shot migration command under command that reads every affected file and applies the transform and writes back. Not a hand edit. It should be an idempotent, checkable, run twice, compare, and should print a summary of what it touched. Verification after migration, rerun the hard transition bounds check below, plus a walkthrough of each zone group. The rotation is pure relabeling, so every containment relationship that held before must hold after. Anything that breaks indicates a field that was missed. Blocking defects, 2-position unit mismatch, hard transitions, warp out of zones. 15 of the 16 hard transitions in the game were player outside of the destination zone. Root cause, the map editor writes 2-position in pixels. So we convert tile to pixel here, but the loader treats it as tiles and multiplies by tile size again. Every editor authored destination is therefore 32 times too far out. That explains a lot. I knew there was an issue with the teleporters, but I had not looked into it at all, and I had not even cared to look into it at all yet. Root cause, the map editor writes 2-position in pixels. Ooh. 2-position is stored in pixel coordinates, so we convert tile to pixel here, but the loader treats it as tiles and multiplies it. Every editor authored destination is therefore 32 times too far out. Evidence, run position too low, destination bounds. Okay. A single passing case, boss arena to zone forest north, is hand authored in tiles. Every editor written one fails. Player visible symptom, the movement clamp pins the player to the destination zone's far edge instead of the authored arrival point. So every dungeon entrance, lighthouse, door, and arena portal drops the player in the corner or in a corner. It reads as the teleport works, but put me somewhere odd. Yeah, that kind of describes what the case is. Rather than outright failure, which is why it has gone unnoticed. It has not gone unnoticed, it's just gone uncared about. Pick one unit and make both sides agree. Tiles is the better choice. Every other coordinate is in the zone JSON. Every other coordinate in the zone JSON is in tiles, and convert tile to pixels is the single place where the conversion belongs. That means changing the editor to write tiles and migrating the existing pixel values divided by tile size. Guard at a start of validation over or a test over data zones, asserting every hard transitions to position lands inside its destination zone's bounds. Hey, Fanbjörg, how are you doing today? This class bug is invisible in review and obvious to a check. Why this blocks the beach subzones. The beach subzones and any new dungeon are authored in the editor and inherit the bug. And the rotation migration must know each field's true units before it can transform them. acceptance criteria, item and done when, boss health bar, boss renders health bar. I don't really care about the acceptance criteria on the, I don't know when it started calling them acceptance criteria. I would prefer that it not, because that sounds more like work. Anyways, I have added a series of notes to add to the NA world, not work, world expansion file. Review these. Also, I feel like there was something I needed to add to one of these. Ah, right. Notes to add. Use file distance. Or use tile position definition. Anyways, I have added a series of notes to add to the NA World expansion file. Review these notes. Explore the implications of these notes on the rest of the file. Then update this file to reflect these required changes. Okay, gonna do that as well. Now I am really unsure what to do right now because I don't really feel like opening up the game at the moment. Trofer, thank you for the follow. How are you doing today? That's much appreciated. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I can I don't know how I feel about that series of messages, considering that those are your first messages in here. While extended reach does sound like a good idea, I feel like there's a catch to that, and or that's not necessarily a person who's posting the messages. Like, for example, what is the kick community? Why require adding on Discord? What is the reason for doing so as well? Anyways, I'm just kind of sitting here chilling while this gets changed because I am still trying to not fall back onto the rant that I really wanted to go on today. Or not wanted to, but have ended up in the situation of wanting to rant about. And I already ranted about it once earlier this stream. I don't think it's a good idea for me to go back on ranting about it again. Unless Fanbjorg, you're around and want to hear my rant about AI related stuff again. Otherwise, I'm gonna try not to do that because I specifically am getting frustrated with it. Oh, I should probably double check what was actually changed in here while I'm procrastinating. So first off, we added N8 here. I don't know why N7 was mentioned, N8. We already did the UI and map editor stuff as well. I probably should mention these need to be updated to note which ones are actually completed, because I'm pretty sure we actually completed the world map editor already. Yeah, we definitely did. Well, we already addressed some of them at least. Then we have World Expansion and Content Pass planned, and one stable, and 7 World HP bars passed. We definitely already did a lot of this. There we go. Did a lot of this. HUD fixes, boss health bar. Boss is currently under render no health bar at all. Render 1 mob gates the bar on not is boss. And the boss UI panel N7 assumes this would cover it. Does not exist. Bosses are the only entity whose health cannot be read, which in itself is not a bad idea, I just don't like it. HP bar fill color. The bars show remaining HP as a single green fill at all levels. The current green, yellow, red, yellow to red. The color gradient is removed, and an empty bar is background only. Boss arena gating, portal and notice board behind the quest. Carries no quest visibility, so a new player can reach the arena before meeting the quest giver. Both must appear on quest 3 step when the Orc commander arrives at the... Nope, it does not despawn after. Gating the appearance is expressible today. Gating the... Oh, it's updating. Weird that it doesn't show the full thing anymore. Step completes on reaching that step to unlock it. It never reverts because reached is step index. Okay, so a new player can and are permanent from then on. There we go. Not chase org. The existing lower bound quest requirement is exactly the right shape. No range extension is needed. Excluded from the world map. Must not render on the M key. New content. 10 new mobs, poison ailment, no mob player status effect, 2 new nodes, and 3 out of bound core sets. The world rotation authored, world data rotate 90 degrees, so the mountain sits at the top of the world map. Decided data rotation since the world map ignores camera angle. Every coordinated bearing field in every zone JSON plus NPC face direction values and behavior targeted tiles, quest step, region, and wave spawn points, world map link anchors. Yeah, so basically everything needs to be rotated. Poison, there is no mob to player status effect. Path at all today. Apply on hit. Oh my gosh, don't tell me you did this. I already don't like what I'm seeing here. Apply on hit effect runs player to mob only. Player active buff is stat mods, not dot. Your stacking model hidden activated is documented a full server wire. HUD system, 1 gap in the notes. Activation is specified, but deactivation isn't. That's new Q13 with the recommendation for hysteresis. What the heck is this? That's not... The lagging of an effect behind its cause as when the change in magnetism of... Okay, so it's that word again. Well, it really likes that word. I don't. It's a good word, but it's just not. The recommendation for hysteresis ends at 0, not below 500, since the symmetric reading makes a single byte barely past 500 with no... and almost immediately, which contradicts the long lasting. Yeah, that was non-blocking reads. No node flag disables collision, only block when depleted exists. Needs a block movement field mirrored across the 3 animated world pools, both decor, draw paths, hardcode frame 0, documented an animation pass for using the existing portal timer pattern with the per tile hash as a phase offset so the ocean doesn't pulse in lockstep. Alright, where's the venom thing? Kelpie sprite sharing Atlas rows are keyed by ID with one offset. So 2 mob IDs cannot point at the same image. Row directly if Kelpie Beach and Kelpie Mountain should look identical. Give the mob config an option sprite field that defaults to the mob ID and key model. Both Kelpies then set sprite Kelpie if they are meant to look different. A plausible tier queue, even though the name is shared, they simply get 2 rows. Decide at authoring time the sprite indirection is cheap to add either way. We'll go with sprite direction. Okay, where's the venom parts? That's what I'm really looking for. Mobs already have a stack policy, stacks max modifier. Poison needs to expire after reaching 0. A mob that is venomous must just have abilities that have a stack plier. It does not actually have to be added to as a trait on the mob, rather exists as an explanation in documentation. Just gonna skim through these. Portal is permanent. The whole extend transition to a quest visibility range proposal is withdrawn. A lower bound quest requirement is exactly right. Q10 resolved, but one correction to the gating step reached is step index greater than equal to target. So gating on chase orc would reveal the portal the instant the goblin wave ends before the chase happens. Your note says reaching the end of the chase step, which means the gate must be enter arena. The step the player advances to when visit location region completes. That also lines up exactly with the orc commander's own until step. Enter arena. He vanishes into the arena at the moment the portal appears. Data rotation is wanted. Resolved. Added sanity checks in tiles Q11 resolved. Okay. Was added to answer some questions. One, venom is a descriptor for document, and poison just applied abilities. 2, poison expires at 0 stacks. 3, Kelpie will have same appearance. Okay. I don't know why my place is so warm today, but oh man, am I feeling it. It's not even a warm day out. I'm pretty sure it's probably still not even that warm out either. It's a bit over 20, but it's really not warm out. But oh boy, is my place warm. Maybe my computer's just being an absolute heater today. I guess we should probably go through and double check. Boss Arena Portal with the notice board, 10 mobs, world expansion, world rotation. The 3 of the items below are new systems, not content. The poison ailment, no mob to player status effect, path exists today, non-blocking nodes, and animated decor. And then once this part is edited again, I think I'll have it double check that N1 through 7. I'm pretty sure most of those are actually completed. The documentation actually needs to be updated for which ones have been addressed. And I should actually have a... Yeah, I have an artifact I can point Claude to just double check which ones are completed. I think it's gonna have to map phase 7 though, because I think that was an additional thing that was not present when the artifact was created. Wondering what I should do for food today. Anyways, let's see this. All 3. Venom is a descriptor. Poison comes from the abilities. The mob table now marks monitor is venomous in italics as a description, with a new paragraph stating explicitly no venomous flag on the mob configs. The poison section config row now names an ability level applier. Poison stacks in NPC or an ability NPCs. One thing I checked while doing this, NPC ability configs have no on-hit or effect field at all. Only player abilities carry on-hit effects. So this is a new field on the NPC ability struct. It really should have been present on all of them. Not a reuse. I also added the design rationale since it's a real benefit. The target side counter and tick are identical regardless of who applies the stack. So a poison blade or witchcraft recipe on the player side later needs no new plumbing. Poison expires at 0. Don't know what I'm doing there. Poison expires at 0. The 2 option decision table is gone, replaced with a rule stated as fact. The asymmetry is explained as deliberate. 500 is a resistance buffer on the way in, and once poisoned, the full decay runs. Q13 is the plan. Q13 in the plan is resolved. Kelpie share a sprite. Make sure when adding the poison support on the mob abilities that they also support any other on-hit effects. And then the next one is going to be review which of the N1 to N7 already complete /% complete. You can look at this artifact as well to get a start. These docs need to be updated / marked as complete if they are done. I think N7 has mostly been implemented as well. Review the code base to verify. Yeah, I really am just sitting here to chill at the moment because, actually, now is a great time for me to go get some nice cold water. I'll be right back. I'm back. Oh, and guess what I saw when I was going to get my water? I saw that I have potato salad and I completely forgot about it. Oh, I'm gonna do some, it's gonna sound real silly, but I'm doing some grilled cheese soup and potato salad for dinner. Oh, that's gonna be so good. I'm looking forward to that now. Oh, I love me some potato salad. What do we have here? The design is now explicitly general, with poison as the first consumer rather than the shape of the field. What changed in the docks, the bespoke poison stacks field is gone. It is replaced with a new section on hit effects and NPC abilities. General poison first, but on what already exists. Player abilities carry on hit effects, each naming a modifier config and data modifier as a generic stat change description. Target property operation of dot multiply, add set effect, add set duration stacking, bleed, burn, slow, and root are all already instances of that one shape. The section specifies NPC abilities get the same on hit effects type, not a parallel one, validated against the modifier map at load like player abilities. A resolver at the two mob player damage sites in entity collision. The mirror of apply on hit effects, dispatching on target kind, generic, apply modifier to player. Handling every existing operation against player session dot tick damage. Multiply set on speed, the slow root semantics. Mobs already get stat mods, the existing active buff machinery. Generic apply modifier to player, handling every existing operation against player session dot. Taking damage multiply set on speed, the slow root semantics the mobs already get, stat mods, the existing active buff machinery. Something doesn't sound right in that statement. Poison expressed as a new modifier operation carrying threshold DK stacks per hit, so it's reached through the same list with no special path. One player directed status delta covering all effects, so the HUD badge rows and the HUD badge rows show poison, slow, root, or bleed identically. The acceptance test is deliberately not about poison. Putting effect ID slow chance 1.0 on an NPC ability must slow the player it hits with no specific code. If only poison works, the field was added, but the requirement wasn't met. That's now a separate row with the acceptable table. The implementation plan is to split the old poison bullet into two, the general on-hit system, and then the poison as one entry, though Q14 is reworded to match. Okay, so now we're going to check what has actually been completed and what's not, because I'm pretty sure most of the things have been completed. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I know most of the things have actually been completed. So I'm going to split these up. I'm going to make sure that those are all noted down, and then I want to split N8 into three separate parts now. One being the new content, like the new JSON configuration content from mobs, nodes, decor, etc. And then another being the new mechanics that are needed. Then the final one being the map rotation. I think we're going to do that on its own. So this is the first time we've had sort of the scope of this grow in between, but these are all related to balancing the quest system and editor inspector, and these were, I wasn't sure if I needed these beforehand, and they're kind of just things that have to get settled before the actual run, or before the actual testing. Oh. I'm always looking over at my camera being like, I wonder what I should actually have it for positioning. Like, I don't know if it should be more zoomed in on my face. I don't know if it should be more head and shoulders. I don't know. What's the, because this also helps me when I'm just like, yeah, I'm just chilling and lying back. So, it's a little mix of everything. I am primarily using AI in order to actually write stuff because it's so much faster, but we go through and we edit things, we add a bunch of notes and then refine it and then go about it. Right now I'm just doing primarily the documentation. A lot of the times if I run into something that's just taking too long with the AI, I'll go through and trace it. I am a professional software developer by like profession, so I'm already doing that all day, and I kind of just don't want to waste my time when I'm working on other stuff anyways. Like using AI on this is going to save me about 8 years worth of time for this overall project. So plus there's an actual real huge benefit to using AI for programming while you're while streaming, especially something like this. Give me a second. Go run /command. Let me get the server going. Yeah, so the real big benefit of this is that I can have stuff happening in the background, and I can kind of just sit here and play. This is not working. Go run /command. Hatchet client. Anyways, yeah, I can actually sit here and play the game and show it off and have stuff still happening in the background. So, I'm getting lost. The forest entrance is this way. I need to increase the render distance on a couple of these things. Oh, wait. Yeah, I need to get NPCs showing up on the minimap. I need to get... Okay, this is the guild hall, which means, yeah, this was this way. I was just on the wrong path. But yeah, I kind of just haven't been wanting to open this at the moment right now. I've just been reading over the documentation, making sure that all the things are covered that we actually need to implement for this. I only have a handful of placeholder visuals at the moment. A bunch of skills. Why is this not rendered? This is my character that's done the quest, right? Oh, nope, I overwrote the quest. Unfortunate. Alright, time for us to do the quest again. Why is this not... Oh, wait, I logged on to the wrong... Wait, which character did I log on to? Oh, I logged on to a new character? Oh, that explains it. There we go, that explains a lot. We don't need to do that quest now. That explains why I had no inventory. Yep, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I'm gonna run over to the boss and actually fight the boss. But yeah, like I said, the benefit to, or one of the major benefits to using AI on stream specifically is that it lets me go and interact with the actual thing that I'm building. So, how am I getting stuck on that tree? I don't know. I might have to look into the collision detection a little bit. Make sure this is on hard mode, because I would like to show off my... Well, there's the teleport bug that we're getting fixed as well. Not at the moment, but will be getting fixed. There we go, boss defeated. We do have super buffed abilities right now. Because these crystals are extremely strong and they do like 5 times damage. Sorry, you got auto-modded out. Oh yeah, the thing I was going to show off. When when a boss is actually defeated after a certain number of people have beaten the boss, it actually runs a buff sequence where it'll look through the average logs of the boss fight, and then it will change and modify the abilities and stats of the boss corresponding so that it gives it a better chance at the average player on the next fight. This actually enables, or actually makes it so that people who are both worse and better at the game will have an not easier time against the boss necessarily, but it won't be built specifically to face people who are better or worse. So this should actually flatten the amount of people that are, or the distribution of skill expression at the bosses. For example, if this is the average skill player, this is -1 and this is +1. So this is 0. 0 is the average player here. -1 is like the worst player in the game, and +1 is the best player in the game. So in a normal game, you're going to have your skill distribution like this. This is how sort of the performance of players against the bosses is going to go in your normal game. But if you have a learning boss who is actually capable of adapting to the average stats of the player, what that does is it pushes down the average and it pushes more players towards the edge. And you should get a more even distribution of the actual skill expression of players in the game, which I think will lead to much more enjoyable combat with bosses. It'll give you more room to improve, but it will also allow more gradual sort of improvement of it. And sure, it's going to make it so that in the middle there's a bit of a difficulty spike, but that's kind of just how learning, at least how I see learning, works. So I think it's going to be a great experience, and I think it's something that I've been planning on implementing for, we're probably getting close to a decade on it, because that was an idea I came up with in the middle of university. I've been working on a lot of systems in the background, and I'm very excited to actually be able to bring them into specific games. So, anyways, I have a lot of documentation that I need to go over and actually make sure that I'm happy with. Where each phase stands. Okay, so this was just... Maybe I don't have to go over this part right now, because this is actually just documentation that I need to check which ones were done. Let me just grab... Get that started. A minute. Documentation update with what is completed / state. So then each of these is probably just near complete, N7, 90% see progress. So we shouldn't actually be blocked on N7 anymore. Anyways, what was the summary output here? All docs are updated and consistent. Every claim below was checked against the source, not the artifact, and that mattered because the artifact had gone stale in both directions since the 08-26 audit. Where each phase stands, I don't actually care where each one stands. Oh yeah, we got the audio in yesterday. Oh, the audio is so bad. It's all placeholder audio. It's all just raw pitches or raw tones, and it sounds terrible, so I have it off. You don't want to hear it, but it works, and that's the important thing. That means I can actually start just plugging in audio here and there, which is very nice. Where the artifact was wrong, worth knowing since you may be leaning on it. And for audio, yeah, this is completed. And 7 other player HP bars. Said other players carries HP. It doesn't. The struct has no HP field, and nothing on the wire sends them. Okay, that's good to know. And 7 transition bugs. All 4. We're open in the session closed the whole class. We're open on 08-28. The containment crossing section. This session closed the whole class. Wait, so it did note that those are completed, right? I know they are completed because it's working very nicely now, and I'm very happy about that. Also, it is upsetting me that I can't see what that message that got deleted was. Which is unfortunate because I'm very curious about what it was. I wonder if I pull up I pull up Twitch over here and go to my dashboard summary, etc. Stream manager. No, I can't see what the chat was. That's upsetting because I really want to know what it was. What a shame. What a shame. It's lost to the aether forever. Never gonna find out. Never gonna know if you hate that I'm using it or if you don't care anymore. Closed as not applicable. There's no line primitive on canvas. The target indicator is a ring whose radius. Yeah, I'm aware. Q8 and N2 section both said force transition and force north transition is written to zone config on step completion. What was built and what N2 subface doc always specified as predefined transition as per player. Corrected the plan to match. Yeah, that's good. I'm aware of incorrect documentation because we've kind of been editing things and improving things as we go and going back and doing bug fixes and what I changed. Each of the 8 subphase docs now opens with a progress section. This is anyways, I want to break an 8 into 3 sections covering the following. 1, new config based changes, zones, subzones, mobs, nodes, boss. 2, new architecture slash in-game feature changes, poison, shared sprites, etc. And then 3, what was number 3? I know I mentioned, right, the map rotation. Break the plan into these 3 categories. Also confirm that N7, not phase 7, N7 is no longer a blocker. Because N7 really shouldn't have ever been noted as a blocker. So, and I'm really upset that I don't know what Still Leaf was going on about. What a shame. What a shame. Oh wait, I can see. I found the messages. I didn't understand that when you already do software. Your job, you want to be fast and have results, or just chilling, I guess. For myself, I forbidden AI because I do autodidact. I'm not actually familiar with that term. Autodidact, low-level software, hardware simulation, and for better understanding complex reasoning. And something like this I prefer to do entirely myself, usually by Streamlabs. I hope that's it. I take it that's in a good way, right? Right? That would be nice. I would take a few extra viewers because people mistook me for Mr. Beast. That would be great. An autodidact is a self-taught person who requires knowledge and skills independently. Yeah, I feel like most people that do any programming are autodidact in some way in that case. Self-direction, show space, trace, famous examples at distinctions. I'm not worried about that. Anyways, yeah, the important thing, I guess, since you pointed out specifically low-level software hardware simulation, the important thing is just making sure that you have a reference to be able to lock things to the actual implementations and practicality, reviewing and verifying specific steps and that the understanding works rather than just, well, it's specifically testing it. The trade-off between using AI more and the actual output of it is the amount of testing required for it. You can offload a lot of the cognitive load and implementation time and not progress, and focus more on refinement, testing, and verification if that's something you want for time speed. Again, it depends on what specifically you're doing. Domain knowledge is always the most important thing that you have, and actually being familiar with your code base is even more important. A really fun thing to do, though, and I actually do highly recommend this, is set an AI off on trying to resolve an issue, and then race the AI to see which of you can get the either problem diagnosed or resolved first. It's a lot of fun. And you'll find that a lot of times, especially when you were really familiar with the code base, you're going to beat the AI like 9 out of 10 times. But that being said, AI can trace really fast. But for some reason, it also shoots itself in the foot sometimes and goes, oh, I couldn't find the thing that was 2 functions deep. And it's like, oh man, what are you doing? It's like, I was looking on this file across the code base. It's like, no, you're looking in the wrong spot. I should probably go sell this crystal because I don't want to uber buff this character. Actually, I'll just go put it in the bank. Oh, I need to do sprites so bad. These buildings look so bad when they're just wall placeholder. Oh, I'm gonna need to do something about rotation. I need to be able to set rotation. Ooh, these should not be rotating from the center. That is not great. I'm happy they work. I hadn't actually gone and looked at any of the 1x1 or 1x2 things once they got implemented. Looking through absolutely massive logs is so nice with AI because I'm not reading 100,000 lines. Massive data ingestion as well, but. And large code base, it also depends on how familiar you are with it. But gotta go sell all this wool for I gotta get my sprites in the right spot here. Ooh, we still got a slingshot issue. No, I don't want to sell my mana potion. Thank you. Config base. Okay, so the sections are broken apart. And 7 confirmed not a blocker, and 8 in 3 sections. Okay. I'm gonna go hop over here. I just want to get back to where the town guards are so that when I need to show stuff off, I can just run up and fight some goblins. I can't wait to rotate the map. I want the mountains and stuff up here. I get that it fits better horizontally, but it's just I initially designed and planned everything to be north, and then the XY got kind of messed up near the early parts because graphics draw from the top right corner. They don't draw from the bottom left corner, whereas all of graphing and actual people use XY, but then you start programming graphics and it's like, oh, we're doing it from the top left corner is 0, 0, and I want to speak with whoever thought that was a good idea. That drives me insane. It's not even the first time I've run into that issue. I think it's like the 3rd time. I think the first time was not in university. The first time was in high school. The second time was in my isometric Python game that I tried to make while in my first job after university, and then this was the 3rd time. It's such a pain. Okay, anyways, minimize this. I'm gonna go take a look through. Whoa, where's the 3 documents? Oh, and 8 in 3 sections, not 3 documents. I kind of want 3 documents, though. Break this into 3 documents, not just 3 sections. And 8, 9, and 10, and 8 through 10. Anyways, while it's doing that, we are going to read through these sections again. Actually, we might just skim it, because we've already read through it a couple of times. Hopefully, it's just reorganized now. Section 1, config-based content. This contains everything: the beach subzones, venomous mobs, Kelpie variants, all new mob renderings, reads whirlpool boss arena portal. Yeah, I guess that is just config since we enabled quests a few days. Did we enable quests a few days ago? No, I think we had started on quests over the weekend. Man, the progress is so fast. I love it. Boss Arena Portal. Beach expansion hasn't actually been touched. The Cliffs transition run southeast around the Cove and Lagoon, or east out of the Cove and Lagoon. So the new subzones extend northwest, and this is going to change it. This is going to change completely as soon as we rotate the map. But that's why we're doing these first, and we're actually doing the map rotations after. So, new mobs. We're going to add some new mobs. We're going to add the Scape. I can't wait for that one. Scape, Jackalope, Bear, Tsukinoki, Crab, Mangrove, Komodo, Alligator, Kelpie. Venomous is documentation. Kelpie variants, we've got 2 of them. We're going to add one on the beach that's low level because the beach is a low level zone and mountains are going to have a high level one. Levels boss, we're going to add a Kappa as boss. New nodes, wood, mangrove, reed herbs, these are still there. New at a bounds decor, none of this has really changed. Yep. Boss arena gating. I should probably add to the end of the notes. Handle 1x1, 2x2, 2x1, and 1x2. Node rotations and anchoring. Better. Currently rotates from middle for 1x2s. Boss arena gating. The arena portal is. This is the quest limitation for it, and then the acceptance criteria. Okay, so we're still pretty good off from those. Also, this song is great. What one is this? Punch. I don't know if it's just going to do a copy and paste. It should be, but I doubt it. Oh, really? It wants to do the world rotation first, or at least before N8. N8 is pure content. I really wanted to do this first, but it might. Do I care about? I mean, the world rotation is just going to be done by a script anyways. It's not like I'm going to have to manually do the world rotations. It's not like I'm going to just be wasting a whole bunch of AI context on world rotation either and having it change the thing specifically. We've specifically planned it out so that it will be using a script. So do I really care if I do the content stuff first or later? It shouldn't make a difference. And then engine features. This is the one I actually want to make sure that it's good. Overview. N9 is the engine, wire, client, and editor work that the N8 content and N10 rotation depend on. It opens with the blocking defect found while scoping N8. Every editor authored hard transition warps the player out of bounds. Okay, I think this is probably going to be the best one to do first. Followed by 6 independent features. 3 of them are genuinely new systems rather than extensions. NPC on-hit effects and poison ailment. No mob player status effect. See, this is one trait that the AI really does a lot. When you correct the AI on stuff, especially in documentation, you'll see that it adds like a note, we're exclusively not doing this, which I don't know how I feel about that. In some ways, I kind of like it because it's like, hey, this is explicitly, we're calling out, this is like one interpretation of this, but we don't want to do this. We specifically want to do this in this other way because of like this, and this reason. So in that way, it's good. But it's also annoying. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the AIs use M dashes all the time. Or like, it's not this, but this. Oh, that one's the worst. I'm so upset that AI started doing that, because I used to say that a fair bit. And now every time I'll go to start typing that and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, this reads like it was read by, or reads like it was written by an AI, and it drives me crazy. It's had an actual impact on what I choose to type. Anyways, rant over. Non-blocking nodes, animation decor, 2 position unit fix, blocking defect, 15 of 16 hard transitions in the game warp players outside of the destination zones. These should be fixed first. So I think N9 is the first update. Yeah, and it's even saying that here. Why would just reorder and rename them? Like, this is sometimes ridiculous. Single player or single passing case, player visibility symptoms. The movement clamp pins. Okay, this is still the teleport, guard, and block. NPC on-hit effects. On-hit effect and ability. Do not add a poison-specific field. NPC abilities must carry any on-hit effects. Poison is simply the first that needs it. The bespoke poison stacks field would have to be followed by slow on-hit, bleed on-hit, and so on, each with its own resolver. What exists today? The player abilities carry the on-hit effects, each effect ID naming a modifier, config, data, generic stat change, operation dot multiply, add, set, value, duration dot interval, and stacking, bleed, burn, slow, root are all. It's funny because we're going to have 3 different kind of tick effects now. We're going to have poison, burn, and bleed. They act subtly differently. They probably could have all been implemented as like variations on the same thing, but I don't know. I don't really want to deal with configuring it every single time. So I think defining the specific, or defining the explicit behavior of it works much better than relying on the implicit inheritance and change, or making them a polymorphism of each of them. I don't think that'll work as well in this situation. So because I was considering here when we were defining poison earlier, I was considering just making it a bleed, and I went no, because I kind of want this stacking mechanism, and then I don't want to bury that in. Yeah. Anyways, value, duration dot interval. These are resolved against mobs only. The projectile hit state, NPC abilities have no on-hit field at all currently, and nothing resolves the player modifier against what to build. Piece change, config, resolver, player state, application, wire HUD, add on-hit effects at the 2 mob the player damage sites in entity collision. Yes, we should be modifying entity collision. Roll each entry by chance and apply the modifier to the player. This is a mirror of apply on hit effects. Dispatching on the target kind player application, a generic apply modifier to player handler. Every existing operation against the player session dot on HP to a ticking damage entry. Multiply set on speed, same slow root semantics. On def special defense time stat mod, the existing active buff machinery fits these. Stacking follows the modifier stack policy, stack max exactly at the mob path. Wire HUD 1 player directed status delta covering all player side effects. So the HUD badge row shows poison, slow, root, or bleed identically. Acceptance for the general path, not just the poison. Putting effect ID slow chance 1 on an ability NPC must. Yeah, so this is just saying that it's guaranteed at 1. That's standard probabilities. Poison a new player ailment, reached through the list above as a new operation, expressed as poison. Threshold decay. Each hit from the ability stacks range 1 to 1,000. At 500, the target becomes poisoned. Stacks decay slowly over time. This hasn't really been decided, and this is just going to be tunable. I'm going to have to test this out a bunch before I decide, like, how fast should they decay? Should it be, like, because I know it's definitely going to want to be faster than 1 per second. When you get poisoned, I don't want you to be poisoned for, like, 9.5 minutes. Well, 8.5 minutes before it decays, 500 seconds. I think that's 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Anyways, I don't want you to be poisoned for like 8 minutes and up to potentially 16 minutes. Like, I think I want the poison to be like, hey, you're poisoned for like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. If we do 2.5, then that's 1 stack every... shoot. My mental math is failing me. 2 minutes, this is 1,250. 3 and a third? 500 over, or 500 over 150. 3 and a third, yeah, my mental math works. Okay, anyways, poison N was in the... Wow, I can't speak. The poisoned ends when the counter decays to 0, not when it drops back below 500. Activation and deactivation are deliberately asymmetric. 500 resistance buffer. Once poisoned, the full decay runs its course. A single bite that barely crosses 500 is a real commitment. The intended long-lasting, low-damage character. I mean, we're probably not going to have this. I want it to be sort of stacking, like you get hit 3 times by the monitor lizards and then you're going to be poisoned. I think that's a much better way. Or like 2 hits from the Komodo. Implementation circle. I really want to call it Komodo Dragon, but if I put Komodo Dragon, then I'm going to feel tempted to make it an actual dragon. Komodo Dragons are so cool, but I'm not making it an actual dragon. If anything has the word dragon in it in the game, it's going to be an actual dragon. So I'm not doing that. I'm going to keep fighting myself on that one as much as I want to change it. Implementation surface layer, the poison modifier, global tuning, server per player, poison counter, wire, state change, client, a green poison badge, persistence, the counter survives logout. That's actually a good call out that I didn't even think about, that the poison needs to, because yeah, otherwise you just log out and log back in. You know, it's so easy. What do you mean there's a problem? Just log out and log back in. What are you doing? What are you doing? Also, where did my tab go? Trying to figure something out a little off stream, and I don't know why it's showing, why something's showing that it's the thing that it's showing. I'm trying to be very vague on that, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, why ability level rather than mob level? The mob is venomous by virtue. Oh, this is, I was like, what's it talking about level? It's talking about this, the level that it applies at. This applies at the ability level. It's not a state on the mob. This was one of the things we had to clarify in here a couple of iterations ago. Mob is venomous by virtue of what it does, not by a label, and the same modifier can later sit on a player ability, a poison blade, a witchcraft recipe, with no new plumbing. The target side counter and the tick are identical regardless of who applies the stacks. Note on the mob side stack panel, or stack mob. Oh, before I forget, I'm just gonna make this in the notes. Double check tertiary, secondary classes to see if egg doctor fits. There we go. Anyways, notes on the mob side stack model. Mob's existing stack policy, stack max modifier are discrete. Stacks with expiry, not a decaying continuous counter with a threshold poison. I know the cultist is definitely going to use poison. Poison is speaking. Poison is a distinct operation with not a special case of that model. Schema-driven mob sprites and shared sprites. Today, render lookup mob row is a hard-coded go switch mapping mob type to Atlas row, defaulting to row 0. Every new mob renders a goblin until the switch is edited. Nodes and decor are ID keyed throughout the schema fields. Mobs are outlier than new mobs and 8 respect. By the way, if someone around has not seen what we have for our current assets for the sprites, what we do for generated is we just generate a whole... Where's my items one? We just generate a whole bunch of just plain colored squares and label them. That's what we use as our placeholders. So whenever it's talking about the generated sprite atlas, this is what it's referring to. Because basically we generate these as the fallback default state. Then I go and I add specific... where are my items? I go and I add specific sprites, placeholder sprites over top of them, and that way we can just procedurally continue updating one little bit at a time. They're all very simple, very like repeating effects, and then you'll see the spots that I just haven't gotten around to doing additional sprites for. So anyways, back to back to here. Change add sprite data mobs JSON rows schema. So what it's talking about is pointing to one of those specific rows for multiple different mob configs. A missing entry should be a visible error, not a silent goblin. I thought I was misreading that for a moment. No, that is correct. A missing entry should be a visible error, not a silent goblin. Hey, silent goblin would be a pretty good mob as well. I think I'm gonna add silent goblin as a mob. New mob, silent goblin. Not a silent goblin. This is the same config driven, so new types need no code change. Principle with the N7 building tile pass adopted. Sprite field on mob config defaulting to the mob ID mobs. JSON is keyed by sprite ID required for the N8 kelpies. Atlas rows are one per ID, so two mob IDs cannot share a row directly. Both kelpies set sprite kelpie, and one row serves both. Every other mob omits the field and resolves to its own ID. Also gives future reskins and tier variants a one-line answer instead of a duplicate Atlas row. Non-blocking nodes. Every non-depleted node blocks currently, and that's kind of been bugging me. So I'm adding this specifically for the nodes, but I think I'm going to apply it to a lot of the other nodes as well, specifically the herb ones like Buttercup. We don't need Buttercup to be a blocking node. It's kind of bugging me. It really is, as I keep running around the world. In clear predictor, the only flag extends block when depleted, governs the depleted state only. The client server mirror is load bearing. Both predictors must apply the flag incidentally, or walking through read snaps the player back every tick. Animated decor, this is so we can add the whirlpool and just have it go swish, swish, swish. The core Atlas schema carries the frame count. Oh. And both decor draws path hardcode frame 0, procedural out of bounds decor, and place decor in the render one. N8 whirlpools animate, so this is the new rendering capability. Time of the portal already animates. Decor animation every frame. Frame count rows with frame count 1. As offset. Oh wait, I should probably read this one a bit more. Desync per instance, because this was actually an idea that it came up with. Desync per instance. Out of bounds decor is procedural and stateless, so use the existing per tile hash as the offset. Oh, that's actually really smart. Every whirlpool then spins out of phase with its neighbor instead of for the whole ocean pulsing in lockstep. Place decor uses its position for the same effect. So that way, if we have like 10 different animation steps for the whirlpool, we can have it procedurally generated and still have them starting on the same animation every single time. Yeah, because that'll work perfectly in lockstep with the actual current out of bounds decor generation, where we have the zone seed, which is then used to procedurally generate the out of bound decor positioning and render type, so that across each specific subzone we're rendering the out of bounds decor in the same location, and then we can utilize that as well for the animation step. I didn't even think about doing that as an offset. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm kind of sad that I didn't come up with that. Frame rate, add frame millisecond to the decor row schema, so each animated type sets its own rate. Whirlpools want a slow one. Do they though? Well, we'll start with. I don't have a pushback on that one, so we're gonna start with it anyways. But I don't know. Do we? Both draw paths take the frame index. An animation type behaves the same whether procedurally, scattered, or hand placed. Boss health bar. What bosses display as a health bar? Render one mob. There's no behavior wider and taller than the standard mob bar. Anchored above the boss. Bosses are multi-tile, so standard and halves. The same green fill, optionally accompanied by the boss name. Yeah, optionally with the name. Open question, in-world over the boss, or fixed in-world over the boss. Confirmation. Confirmed behavior. HP or boss HP bar shows in-world over the boss. Anyways, that works. HP bar fill color. What health bar shows remaining HP as green, and at all fill levels remove the yellow and red. I don't care about the Y. The Y is because it was annoying me. Current render one mob target a single green fill proportional width. Scope applies to mob bars, new boss bar, and other player bars. Yeah, it's just, I just want green HP. Your HP is green, you're good until you're dead. Once you're dead, that's another story, but like, it's green. Config, zone config flag. So this is just taking the boss arena out of the map because I don't want it there. I love that it comes up with these standard Ys. It's the same as if you ask someone, the same reason if you ask someone an opinion and then you ask them why, they'll just come up with an opinion afterwards. Or they'll just come up with a post-opinion justification of their reasoning. Because most of the time they haven't sat and actually thought about why they have an opinion yet, enough to actually change or modify their output for it. So they just, yeah, I totally had a reason for it. There's actually a really cool study that actually showed that, where people who have a disconnect between the left and right hemispheres of their brains have a block put in between their face, and they're shown something on the one side and they're asked to draw something on the other side, and then when they're pressed and asked about why did you draw what you drew, they'll come up with a post ad hoc justification for, yeah, I drew this because the word you gave me was blah blah blah, and then because it's with specific medical conditions where there's no communication between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, so your eyes see and control the different sides of your body, and then without but the person's still fully aware of the person's still fully aware of what they've seen, but because of that lack of communication between the two sides, the verbal side of the brain does not have the communication from the visual side of the brain, but you've still drawn out something related to that. So without any of the knowledge between them, you end up getting just a post ad hoc justification for it. I've very much been rambling on this because it's been quite a while since I've actually looked into those studies. They're very cool though. Implementation N7 specify, and it explains a whole lot about some people though. Implementation N7 specified a world map boolean in the zone config for exactly this case. It was never implemented, and it have render world map. Skip zones where it is false. Set it false for the zone boss arena. Instance zones created by the quest arena path inherit the template's flag and therefore exclude for free. And then I don't really care about the acceptance criteria. Anyways, we are now past the 2-hour point on my streams. I know I've said that I'm trying to make my streams a little bit longer again. I've cut a whole bunch of them short to like an hour, and I've done a bunch that are an hour and a half, and I am trying to push them longer again, but I already had to work later than usual today, so I already started the stream later than usual today, and that means I'm very hungry now. I want to go get dinner, so I'm going to be ending my stream here. Thank you everyone for stopping by. This has been working on Project Hatchet day number 67. If it's going to be a very, very long project, if you are interested in seeing where this project goes, perhaps participating in it as we get to the live testing portions of it, feel free to drop a follow, tune in any other time. I will be working on this pretty much every day. Like I said, it's a very long-term project. I'm looking forward to seeing how we continue to progress through these phases, and I'm off. I'm going to get